I've received DMs and seen some concerns regarding the Centre for London report mentioning FREENOW support for reforming the knowledge. This news became public after I recorded the podcast episode, so I was unable to address it at the time. However, I reached out to FREENOW for their statement and clarification, and FREENOW assured me that they support maintaining the gold standard of the knowledge, but believe the process should be made simpler to study and complete. They have also stated that there is no intention to eliminate it or lower the standards required to become a black cab driver. To clarify, while I appreciate their response, I personally do not support FREENOW's view on this matter. I believe the knowledge of London should remain unchanged. Active cab drivers understand that there are a select few in the trade who no longer work the streets and have a differing view, where they have openly stated on their own social media platforms or in interviews. With that being said, I hope you enjoy the episode. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and ultimately subscribe to the YouTube channel. Deep joy and up the trade. Hello, Johns, and welcome back to part 2 of the Candid Conversation with yours truly, the crazy ginger Cabbie. And the star, I'm delighted to say, the star of the first episode, the first show, first part, Aram. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Nice to see you again. And I am now burned star. Like last time you completely roasted me.
So I'd just like to confirm to everybody that you still hold a high regard within FREENOW. You still are the Chief Operating Officer?
Still. And although some part of my team would like not to see me there in that position, but I'm still there.
You're still there.
I'm holding.
You're still kicking on. Well, I would like to pronounce your surname, but I'm going to make myself look like a bit of a plum, so I won't do that, and I don't want to be labelled something that I'm not. So we'll skip past it. Do you remember in part 1, there was lots that we spoke about, but at some point I did say to you that would you be interested in having a conversation with an actual active FREENOW driver? And you said,
yeah, I said yes, of course, welcome. And I see now that I made a mistake because now you are 2 against 1.
So without further ado, allow me to introduce to you a good friend of mine. I mean, I don't know why he's a good friend, because one, he does far too much work on your app for my liking, and he is also a Tottenham Hotspur fan. But allow me to introduce to you Mr. Richard Cornhouse. How are you, Richard?
I'm good, thank you, Aaron. Thanks for having me.
You know what? You nervous?
Aaron? Not really, no. I'm actually looking forward to it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I'm a season ticket holder.
Season ticket? No one cares.
Okay.
Are you a football fan, Aaron?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
No, you're just a barbecue man, aren't you?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I brought Richard along not so much for like a 2v1 or anything like that. So like, don't stress, don't panic, don't worry about it. But Richard has got a few points he'd like to make to point out to you personally and on behalf of the cab trade, I do believe. But it's going to be a balanced debate. All right, so don't get too excited, Richard.
Okay.
All right, he's got some positive feedback as well for you, which you might like. But obviously, with positive, there comes a little bit of
negative.
No, constructive criticism.
Okay.
Not negative. All right. But before we get into what Richard wants to talk about and some of the new stuff that's coming our way with you guys at FREENOW, I wanted to touch base on some of the things that you promised from the last episode and see where we're at. Yeah, because this is really the whole purpose of this escapade, was to basically for you guys in the corporate world to build bridges with the cream of your app, the black cab trade, right? And
absolutely. So let's recap what we promised last time, and Richard confirms whether it has really happened or
yeah.
Absolutely. So we have a verification.
But like I said, you calm down. All right. He's got a shaved head, but it's just for image. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Right. The driver loyalty program. How are we getting on with that?
We changed, and actually, if you remember, I was mentioning that that was also based on the feedback. I was driving, I was a passenger with a black cab driver, female driver, who was explaining why the loyalty program is not really working and is not really fitting everyone's needs. And we took the feedback and changed from weekly to monthly from November. And it has so far been, my opinion, good. And I would probably look to Richard and then try to see if there's a confirmation in his eyes whether it was good, it became better or not. But the driver satisfaction has been improving. according to our numbers. So it's good to have also real life verification.
I'd like to say before you jump the gun, mister, because I know you've got notes here and you're waiting with bated breath.
No, it's fine. I'm happy to.
He's brought an A4 piece of paper with him, like just to go at. So what Aram's saying is, do you think that's true, or do you think, where are you at with it?
Yeah, I think that things have improved. There's obviously a lot of improvement that can be made. Nothing's perfect, is it? But yeah, no, I do agree.
So regards to the loyalty program, it's like it benefits certain drivers. So
Correct.
Would it more benefit, obviously, we were saying before, was it going to be benefiting people that are part-time, certain night shift, day shift? And I know you've got a bit of a needle with this, haven't you?
A little bit, to be honest with you. Personally, I'm not a fan of the gold, silver, bronze thing, personally. I think that it benefits certain drivers depending on when they're working. I think the night shift drivers, it doesn't necessarily benefit them, to be honest.
Sure. And in the past, the loyalty scheme was more targeted to heavy engaged driver base. And the change that we did, shifting from weekly to monthly, also allows to target the cabbies that are doing part-time or they are part-time engaged with the FREENOW app. So I think in that way we have significantly increased our reach and made the loyalty program more available for the cabbies, but definitely can be improved also further to make it more relevant.
So the payment daily structure.
So yeah, the payments daily. What we have done last time we discussed, and I promised that we will have the daily payments, and we enabled it. Yes, we enabled it with a partner because we wanted to make it to make it available fast, and we didn't have time to internally develop it. It's still work in progress internally. We will do it. Nevertheless, we partnered, we enabled, and yes, it costs some money. Yes, we tried to make sure that our drivers that are most engaged with the platform will have it for free. So basically, we covered the cost. And the bronze drivers have 2 payouts per month, up to 5 payouts for free for the gold drivers. If there will be feedback that this needs to, like the frequency has to increase, we can also take that and make it happen. And you remember that our loyalty levels are not only enabling the payouts for the drivers, but there are other perks connected to it. We know that the gold drivers are actually making 4K annually more than other drivers, especially given the priority for the pre-book.
So they're making an extra £4,000 a year?
That's based on our stats on average, yes. Okay. There are drivers that are making more.
And are these guys the ones that when they want to get paid daily, they're not charged because the incentive for them is the more work you do on your platform? An added incentive for you guys is that when you want your money daily, you're not going to get charged?
Yeah.
So you've asked me my opinion, and as a driver, personally, maybe talking on behalf of quite a few other drivers, not all, but my opinion and others is that the gold and this silver and bronze thing, it's not necessarily working. It was better when it was you do a certain amount of jobs and then you're a priority driver. So you're all the same, if you like.
That's the same still in my head because you are doing certain number of jobs, so 100 jobs per month, which is like 3 to 4 per day, and that shouldn't be difficult. I think we are generating more than that per driver in terms of requests.
But you keep blocking drivers though, don't you?
We will talk about it later. Wait a moment.
I'd love to talk about that.
So then, yes, you are reaching the gold status with 100 rides, and with that, you're also getting all the perks and benefits that we have. And we can also talk about the priority topic later, which is also helping you to continue maintain the status going forward.
So with this daily payment, I appreciate that you're saying that some of the drivers will have to pay a fee for this. There are other platforms where they don't charge.
True. And this is what I was mentioning, that it's also for us an area for improvement. We wanted to have it available fast, and we did it.
So you're doing it in-house, though. Like the payment plan
we are working to have an in-house solution for that as well.
Right. Moving on and talking about driver loyalty and giving something back to cab drivers and stuff like that. I want to talk just very briefly about the OCAs.
Yeah.
And we spoke about that before, and the advantages of like people with the OCAs, they get better advantages, lower commission and stuff like that. Where are you at with that? Because it was just beneficial really to owner drivers that own their own cabs. And you said that you actually spoke to fleet owners to give them incentives. And so where are we at with that?
So we have increased the number of our fleet partners to 6 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we are still continuing to work with them to bring them on board and to let the drivers to rent the cars which can do OCA.
Yep.
The OCAs give all the advantages that we were talking last time.
I was going to say with the OCAs, was it whoever had the FREENOW branding on their taxis, they were knocked down to 12% commission on their commission. Was that right?
There was a discount, yeah.
Yeah, is that still going on?
Only for the drivers that previously were with that program.
What about a new driver?
And we made the product benefits available, which is giving more money than the take rate discount for the drivers.
Could that tickle your fancy? Because I know you've got a nice shiny black cab. Would you have a FREENOW sticker blazoned all over your taxi?
Personally, it doesn't appeal to me. That's just a personal view.
However,
people that are sorry,
calm down. No, calm down, Aram. Let him finish.
So it's different horses, different courses. For me, I'm happy to be on the FREENOW platform. Happy to do the work and earn as much as possible. To have FREENOW slapped all around the cab, it's not my thing.
You don't need it.
No, and to be honest, without being funny, I don't think there's enough incentive there.
Okay, what would be the incentive?
Here we go. Now we're talking.
Well, do you want to pay off my mortgage?
No, come on. That was his ask.
No,
we're still in discussion about that. Yeah.
No, look, money talks, doesn't it? So look, for me to say I want this, I want that.
But we definitely will not be able to do it anytime soon. But we are working on it. Well, however, the OCA perks were giving you a discount on take rate that was pretty much 1,200, 1,400 pounds per year. Not much, but something. And now switching to the product benefits, this is going to give you up to 6K per year. Maybe that takes some burden.
Yeah, certainly help.
$6,000's all right, isn't it?
Oh, listen, I'd rather 8, but 6 is good.
Yeah, I mean, we're still not getting me on board for $6,000, but we'll work on it.
Yeah, but for you, we have a special diamond program coming in.
Oh, a diamond program. Oh, very nice. The wife will be very happy.
By the way,
yes,
I think an important one, since we're not discussing, and I remember the one point, which is which we have to make actually, because I'm talking to you and I understand that not everything that we do even announce, it's drivers get that they don't receive the information. And it reminded me that to have a call to action for the drivers, please go to the driver app, go to the options and make sure you opt for the communications. Because when you have opted out from the communications, we can't even reach you and tell you what we are doing.
Okay. One other thing that I'd like to talk about, which has griped the trade and it forever will do probably, but where are we at with regards to the hotel job cancellations? Because obviously talking about cancellations and players and drivers getting banned and blocked for 24 hours and a week and whatnot, the hotels is it's like a minefield for you guys, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
We actually did quite a significant job there, going to those hotels, talking to them and making sure that they are improving in their behaviors and cleaning up the process. We also had some product features out, and we made sure that certain things are not happening in the driver allocation process. Nevertheless, I think it's a work in progress. This is now business as usual in a way that team is always focused on this topic. There are dedicated people who are every day improving it. It's not going to stop. And the hotels that are not really able to keep up with the requirements that we are having or the ask that we are having, we are deprioritizing them in the system or temporary reducing access to the platform.
Okay. Do you have any troubles with like hotel bookings? Like,
Yeah, I think myself, when a job comes through from a hotel, you'll accept it, but you're nervous because there's not a lot of loyalty there. I would say 8 out of 10 times you'll turn up, the passenger's gone, or another cab scoops it up, which is, it could be human nature to do that. But then if you've then got to cancel the job, then it's going against me.
Yeah.
And then potentially I'm off for a week, I'm off for 2 weeks because of something that I haven't done wrong.
what's the fixed fare now out to like Heathrow with FREENOW?
It changes. I'm pleased you mentioned that because
Thank you.
you're welcome. A while back, the fixed fares were awful.
Yeah.
Now, I believe they're really fair. They're coming through at a good price.
How much?
Well, it depends where you're picking up from. Sometimes it
To
can be.
Heathrow, I can't tell.
No, not you.
You can't because they change.
So, for example, if you was to pick up from one of my favourites, the Ned,
Yeah,
and to get out to Heathrow,
it's definitely in the hundreds. It'll be 100 it should be 100, 102, 108, 110, whatever. But
minus your 18%.
minus the 18%. But that, to me, but back in the day, it was like £55. No driver wanted that. It's ridiculous. Now,
It's fair.
I'm 100% on board with the prices that you're coming out with to get out to Heathrow. Yeah.
My last two rides to Heathrow, one was 120, the other one was 108.
180?
120,
Right.
108.
108.
Yeah.
Well, okay, fine. We're not going to fall out over £17, are we?
Well, you might do.
Well, listen.
You know what you're like. What? Did you cancel the ride and then paid the guy in cash? Or did you make sure he paid his 18%?
Of course, made sure that the 18% is paid. I mean, come on.
I'm disgusted that you didn't call me and say, look, I'm heading out to Heathrow. It's because I weren't paying 18%. That's why. I get it now. Don't like this.
But no, it's good at the minute.
Happy?
It's all right. Yeah. Well, listen, we could always want more, couldn't we?
Just on the 18%, just very, very quickly, is there anything in the pipeline, not for you, is there anything in the pipeline where you're going to bring it down? Because I know you said before, and you was all a little bit cocksure about it, that you said, well, we're the cheapest compared to the others.
Yeah.
That isn't a gold medal for you guys.
No.
Is there somewhere in the pipeline that it could possibly come down without having to do the gold, silver, bronze, and all the OCAs and all that stuff?
I mean, nothing is impossible.
Yep.
So I would keep that topic open.
Yep.
However, the problem I'm seeing now is that we have to first make sure that the number of black caps are growing in the market.
Yep.
That's a big problem.
Yep.
And that we are able to grow much faster the demand.
Right.
So generate more jobs.
Yep.
When this happens and the market starts to grow, then definitely we can have a more flexibility in terms of the commission because then it's the different game from a different baseline.
Now, I know you've got a few things that you'd like to say. Pros and cons. So not all negative, not all constructive criticism.
No, I've got the good points and the bad. Not
the bad. No, we'll leave it.
Constructive criticism.
So we're going to fire through these. Okay. So I want your top 3 pros being an active FREENOW driver.
Top 3 pro. Well, obviously, the account work is paramount for me because you're picking up professional people and you're going to get paid. There's no aggravation. It's guaranteed. They sit in the back, you take them home, that's it. You clear the job, it's coming. As I said to you earlier, it would be great if that money's coming the next day, and I think a lot of other drivers would want that as well. Okay, so that, as we've discussed, needs to be looked at.
Was that a pro?
Oh, definitely a pro. Yeah,
Pro.
cool.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it's account work.
Okay. Good account work. Well done.
Good account work. Well done. The second one we have touched on is the Heathrow work. That to a lot of drivers, because obviously the job's further the better, works. For me anyway, I prefer longer jobs. So the Heathrow work, fantastic. As we spoke about, the pricing of these particular fixed prices, great.
it's usually especially when you are going to these longer journeys, from a customer perspective, it's also a little bit fair that they don't have to fear that
the meter's going tick, 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 tick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have anxiety when you're sitting.
Yeah, fair enough. And let's be honest, sometimes it's better to do the fixed work, because sometimes if the traffic's light, you can actually benefit from the fixed price.
But also the fixed price has to be a good fixed price.
Oh,
None
yeah.
of that £55 stuff. So
yeah, that has to be in the past.
Next.
I quite like the bonus structures and the competitions. The bonus structures are good, as long as they're not out of reach. I think that the percentage can go. If you want the drivers to think, hang on a minute, 10 jobs and I can get that extra £50, okay, get rid of that 70% pass rate or whatever it is, because it might be that job's coming through. You're looking at it and you think to yourself, well, if I do that, because you're up against the clock, it's got to be done by 12 o'clock at night, right? So if you're at 9 o'clock, you've got 3 hours left and you've got to get a certain amount of jobs in, and you give me a job all the way over to Wimbledon for 70 quid, which is a great job, I could lose the race. Can you understand what I'm saying? So
look, I think, to be fair, there are different type of bonuses or that are coming with the different targets. Yes, it has to be tailored to the engagement of the cabbie. And I think we have done some improvements throughout the last year. I think initially it was a very, very manual thing, and with lots of these calculations. I think then closer to the end of the year, we learned how to fine-tune it per driver need much, much, much better. But look, when we are going with the incentives, we also want something in return, right?
I get that, yeah.
And usually we want to have a reliability for the customers so that when they are ordering during the rush hour, they get the cab. They have to get the cab. If they are not getting the cab, they are just leaving the platform. Well, or especially the worst case scenario, you are promising that the cab will be there, like with the pre-book or with any other way, and then you are canceling so the drivers are not appearing, then this is the worst. Then they're immediately out and you lose them forever. So in order not to happen, and we also understand that the cabbies have alternative during the rush hours. The street is getting quite busy at those moments. So yes, we want to lock your attention to the platform. So we want to look, please, what we are providing you, and accept them one after. We will be able to provide that, and we will be also paying for that. So that's the reason why we try to make some kind of a pass rate.
Right, we've had enough on this. All right, you've said your piece, and it was a pro. That was a pro, actually. Are you happy with it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite happy.
Are you happy? Sorry.
As long as
are you happy with some of the nice things that he said about the FREENOW platform?
I'm now afraid.
You're now afraid. What? Oh, because of what's coming.
The negatives. Well, I mean, I think for me and quite a lot of other drivers, they feel that there's one word that needs to be looked at as a driver's point of view, and that's loyalty. A bit more loyalty towards us.
In what regard?
Okay, so
one example.
Okay, to put it in plain English, if it wasn't for the drivers, you wouldn't have a business. Simple.
True.
So, any driver that's on the platform that enjoys working for FREENOW would look at that and say, great, thank you very much for saying that. But, like what we spoke about before, potentially other incentives, because you want to keep it fresh. FREENOW's a big name, not sort of blowing hot air. I'm just being honest. It's a big name. There's others, and you're up there. You want to stay up there, don't you?
Definitely.
Right. So let's all work together as the drivers and FREENOW, and let's make this the top dog, like Tottenham.
No one agrees there, but
I mean, absolutely. And maybe something that I can share here towards that is I would like to send not would like to. I have already asked.
Confirmed it,
yeah, with the product team, with all their top people, will be in London very soon. I'll make sure that this happens really, really soon. And we will arrange a meeting with the driver, the Cabbie community and the product people. So you can also grill them, like with all your problems, with everything that is not happening, with the rules that are like not fair, the cancellations that are not happening on the right. So it's not just me taking all the heat.
So it's like a driver event where they can come and talk to the drivers can come and talk to the corporate world and
I would say not talk, but like give a good beating. Yes.
Oh, right, okay. And
That's fair.
I mean, is that to specific drivers, the gold, or
Anyone on the platform?
anyone?
Yeah.
Will you put it out to the drivers via an email? Do you want to?
Just make sure that you have your communications options turned on, so
Right,
that
okay.
we can tell you exactly the date
Fair
when
enough.
this is happening.
So then drivers have got no excuses. Then, so it's not. Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
No, it's there. That's. Will you go?
Depends on the see again. You know, I have to take care of my daughter. Sometimes I've got to drop her at school. If it's a morning thing, I can't do it. If it's an afternoon thing, I can go because I'll be at work.
We'll make it an evening thing. We'll get in a nice dinner suit.
Okay.
Yeah. Or not dinner suit. Just come a bit smart. Shirt and trousers.
What's your dress? I'm sorry, just come in.
Well, no, cab drivers can't be turning up in Lonsdale tracksuit bottoms and flip flops. You got to be a bit proper.
Sure. So I've got 2 more.
No, yeah, but we're not done yet. Go on, Aram.
Go on.
It doesn't have to be one-time event. Look, when you say that you want to fix things,
Yeah.
you make things on a regular basis. We are
That's
here
it.
for the second time as well, right?
Sure.
It's not like we did one podcast and discussed and then
Forgot about it. Yeah.
So
As we said before, it's like if you want to build the bridges here and make the friendship a bit tighter and understandable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that will be. I mean, we also did that in the past. I think we forgot some way our roots, and then now we need to bring it back. We need to talk to the Cabbies. We need to hear the feedback, and we need to improve. And like we did last, like half a year from the last
6 months ago.
6 months, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we did lots of progress actually.
Yeah,
and
good.
we're very thankful for all the feedback that we received.
You're welcome. I will say that we reached about 45,000 people on just the YouTube platform. I think over 8,500 people viewed it, had over 100 comments, and it had over 150 likes. So we'd done something right.
I mean, having some likes, even like more than 0, it's already a good sign.
It was
community.
before recent times. It was my best performing video on my YouTube,
Okay.
and that's again.
What did beat it?
What beat it? I did a podcast for my comedy podcast with a friend of mine.
Okay.
So I apologise.
By the way, I also took some feedback from the comments.
Yeah?
Personal feedback, yeah.
Personal feedback.
Personal feedback. I understood that I need to improve my English.
Improve? How
I
rude.
think that's really rude, actually. I think your English is fine.
I mean, you speak, what, 3 languages? 5 languages. And he's got the audacity, like Darren out of Downham's got the audacity to tell you that your English is shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we can always improve. That's why now I have that green stalker owl following me in my mobile phone telling to do your classes.
That's it. And that's why he's a multi-millionaire living out in sunnier climates. Right.
Right, so I've got 2 other points, if that's okay.
2 other negative points, Aram. Sorry, mate.
Sure.
Okay, so personally, I drive nights, as you know. And when I'm out at night, and if I accept a job and there's an issue, it could be anything. It could be something really important. There's not anyone I can contact. There's not a phone number to ring. There's not an office to call. I can't start typing because
You're at work.
I'm driving. There needs to be a late night number to call to be able to discuss anything that is important. That it could be something really urgent.
Yeah, I guess this is a painful feedback. I mean, we have to take it and see what we can do about it. The positive side, we did improve our contact center and the support center work. So you can probably see that we have introduced some automations that are actually the chatbot, which is taking care of right now every 3rd question that gets resolved. Plus, on top of it, the automations that we have added allow to close the driver issues in like 80% much faster than before, which is good signs. I understand that there's still a lot to improve. Like today, together we were looking in a specific case with the chatbot in driver application, which wasn't perfect. So we also have to take this feedback and improve. We have the phone line available for the emergencies. It's not 24/7. It is there, and we also have the driver office there for support. Also not 24/7, but it's there. But we can definitely take and look into it, and at least make sure that for certain types of jobs, emergencies, and something that we can take care of it. Yeah.
Yeah. If there's
or there is 999.
Yeah, but if you phone 999 and say, look, I've got an issue with FREENOW,
Yeah,
they're going to say, come on,
they might help
off
you.
your pop.
But we said that before on the last podcast. We on the last episode that we spoke about the communications being able to, for you guys to be able to call a driver up and say, look, what's going on. So if a driver does cancel for whatever reason and then he's been blocked and whatever,
that's actually already now happening.
Yeah, good.
We have a special flow for these type of cases when there was a pre-book, it got cancelled by the Cabbie.
You guys call up and say what's happened, or
actually at the moment a little bit vice versa. There is an opportunity to contact the driver office and explain like this wasn't my fault, and they will take care of it.
Gotcha. Okay.
But the other flow might also come in versa.
Yeah, that'd be good. I think that'd be good because obviously from your guys' perspective, it's like, oh, we've seen a little bit of a pattern here. Let me just ring up John and just say, like, is everything okay? What's happened? And then you guys know.
I know for sure that right now, at least when it's a occasional cancellation of a pre-book, and that was because of the traffic, because the car got rocked, those are being solved.
Yeah, cool.
But if it's like abusing, then
there's a difference. You can tell.
We can see it.
Agree. So my final point, you've actually touched on it. That is the pre-book. Okay.
Oh.
So
was this the negative number 3? This
is it.
That's it.
Oh,
go on. Go on.
If someone hits on a pre-book, okay.
What does that mean?
Well, if you look at the pre-books and you decide that you want to take that job,
that's what that means. Hit, yeah.
Bosh, you hit it. So with the actual pre-books, if a driver hits on that pre-book, he gets that job. If you cancel within 30 minutes of picking up that pre-book job, like what we've said, there's no number to call, there's no one to talk to, so you have to cancel because of. So I've cancelled that job. I then get blocked from FREENOW for 24 hours.
Just so the pre-book jobs.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm now off for 24 hours, but like what we've discussed, there's no phone number to ring, there's no one to talk to explain the reason why. Now, that reason why could be, I've got a puncture.
Yeah.
That reason could be the wife's called, you better get home quick.
She could be in her lingerie.
Could be. Whatever the reason is, I'm now off for 24 hours. And there are some FREENOW drivers, not necessarily myself, but they do work a lot on FREENOW. They use FREENOW quite a lot. So all of a sudden, they've done this pre-book and they're off. So if you want my honest opinion to finish on, like my view as a cabbie, my final scenario here is this blocking business. It doesn't work. It's not good towards the driver. If you want my honest opinion, I think you'll get a lot more loyalty from the drivers if that blocking. I don't know who arranged this blocking, but it doesn't work. It's not good. It's not a good thing.
As I was saying, when there is this pre-book block happening, and it's because of the puncture. Actually, the lingerie point I need to add to the official list of exceptions. So if there is a puncture and you had to cancel, we have the flow where you contact the driver office or our support team, and then they take care of it, and then the block is nothing. So the fact that it is, I think if you don't know, it's our problem that we haven't made sure that it is not clear enough that there is a way to contact it. Yes, not 24/7, like not immediately. If it happens 2 a.m. in the night, then we will not be able to take care of it. But usually, like during the day, we should be able to respond to it very fast and take away the block. I also understand that it feels like it is unfair, the blocking.
At night.
Yeah, we need to improve there, but
no, the blocking in as a whole, in general.
No. It's not just pre-books. It's blocking totally. Blocking.
We've had this chat before. I don't necessarily, but then obviously from the corporate side, they think that that's them having a hold on us. But then cab drivers, as I've said before, will just go onto social media and badmouth you, and it's just not a good look.
That's exactly what you do. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what you don't want.
That's what we don't.
So let's get rid of this blocking business.
Hang on. Go on, Aram.
But then if you are taking away the blocking business, then you should also have a suggestion. How are we going to make sure that people are not abusing it?
I can't speak for other drivers.
But then that goes down to someone with a bit of authority to call them and not rely on them to message you in the hope that, oh, I'm not blocked. Oh, I can do that again. You call them and just say, look, what's going on? Talk to us. And then you can make an executive decision to say, yeah, it's not on, or okay.
That point taken.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that we collect that feedback, maybe even not with the calling, but just even asking in the application. Like,
absolutely, yeah.
Please choose the reason, and then we follow up.
But I will say the more personable touch is speaking to someone and not through a bot and someone typing crap. Because, again, when you hear someone, it's like reading a text message. You'll read it in the tone that you want to read it in. When you listen to someone's voice,
it's different.
It's very different.
If you want a driver's perspective on this, and I hope I'm talking for a lot of the other drivers, it doesn't work.
I mean,
it's very upsetting.
I hear you. I think we need to take it to next level, where when it works, meaning that it is indeed blocking from the pre-book for 24 hours, there is no question that it is done in a fair manner to protect users and to protect the other drivers that are actually missing on these rides in the future. Because as said, when pre-books are canceled, like to the airport, that user is gone from the platform, and they're very, very expensive to bring to the platform. So every driver that is like intentionally canceling on pre-books is actually hurting other drivers. And we don't want to have that one. I understand that there are cases when this is happening and we need to be more flexible and understand the situations and take care of it. Totally. I'm taking that feedback and we will improve there. But just taking away completely means we will definitely have an abuse. And it will not be just the linger. It will be just, I want to have a coffee, and then the pre-book is gone.
We said before on the last podcast that if drivers are back in jobs in the sense of like, I can't make that and I'll cancel it, but then it keeps getting offered onto their phone, they're cancelling it, it would used to go against them that they would then be blocked. I understand that that's changed now.
Yeah, that was a bug that we have fixed, so this problem is not there anymore.
So this blocking is just only for like certain criteria. It's not just for every single backing of a job or cancelling of a job. It's just for certain things, such as like the pre-books within half an hour.
Exactly. We are talking about pre-books. And in general, the acceptance rate criteria have been significantly lowered to be a lot more flexible towards drivers.
Good.
And we are also working on making sure that we have a very clear distinction and taking also the feedback from the Cabbie, right?
Yep.
What is actually good, what is actually bad offer, and what has to go towards the criteria and what shouldn't go towards the criteria. So this is also work in progress right now.
Okay, cool. Lovely. Happy with that?
So I said we are trying to make sure that this is going to be like fair. But we took a lesson from the last time when this was last summer, end of spring, when this didn't go really well. And we took the feedback. As promised, we planned and fixed it. And like last time we were discussing about it. And now some significant parts of it are fixed.
Good. Happy days. Well, I mean, you've got your own personal guinea pig here, so we can report back to me, which I can then report back to you. Not guinea pig, you know what I mean. You're better than that.
A bit harsh.
You are bronze.
I'm bronze.
You are bronze. Yeah. So we're working our way up to gold. Aram, I understand that there are new topics to discuss, new features coming out with you guys at FREENOW. Would you like to sort of take the lead on this and tell us exactly what's going on?
We were discussing before this podcast, there is a pain point and we know that like cabbies don't like to go far to take a passenger because this approach is not paid. The approach distance.
Oh, when accepting a job.
Exactly.
Yep.
There's not a running
cost,
And we also know that this is happening a lot outside of city centre London, like in the outskirts, it's more and more there, less of an issue in the city of London. So one thing that we have been experimenting last 2-3 months is making sure that we can finance that part and pay bonuses for the drivers to pick the passengers that are a little bit further than their usual expected distance.
And have you got a set amount that you pay drivers, or is it dependent on gold, silver, bronze?
No. It's dependent actually to the distance to the potential client. Yeah.
Happy with that?
I am. Yeah.
I think that's
certainly.
Do you pay? So where does it cut off though? So if I accept a job that's a mile down the road, are you going to pay me a running cost?
No.
So where does the running cost start?
First of all, this is only applicable at the moment to the outskirts of London.
Okay.
So it's outside.
Okay.
And this is the scenario when you are also there. There are not that many jobs.
Yep.
Plus, you are receiving a job which is quite far. You have to do a detour probably.
Sure.
And this is where we want to make sure that it is a little bit fair.
Yeah.
What you are referring to is potentially also possible, but it's then you're going into the regulation of the TfL, like interfering with the tariffs. That's not what you want to do.
Right.
So in this case, we are saying like, okay, we understand the demand is there. You are also somehow there's a driver there, but you are a little bit far. Let's make sure that there is an incentive to the detour.
Because as we know in central London, a 2-mile journey could take 25 minutes.
Yeah, but most likely that's also like it can take 25 minutes and then no money will make you to basically go for it.
To do that job, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And this is like outside, you know that it is traffic is not there. It will take you just a couple of minutes to get to the passenger, but you will get paid for the approach.
No traffic in London doesn't exist anymore. We know this.
Some parts.
So that's on the outskirts of London. Is the plan to bring it inside? A running cost?
It's first of all, I wouldn't call it a running cost because then it is definitely going into the regulatory
So
area.
I could change the terminology, but an acceptance.
It's making
fee.
sure that we are giving a bonus to the drivers for far away job.
Okay.
And yes, it might be in London as well. We want to make it an intelligent tool so that it can determine when it has to be applied. But right now, the experimentation is happening on the outskirts.
And it's working?
It's showing significant improvement, I would say.
A good uptake in it?
Yeah. Both the uptake, plus we are having we see that we have 5 to 10 percentage point better engagement from the driver perspective, which is quite a lot, to be honest. And we are actually making sure that the higher paid rides are happening, which is also good for the drivers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you're going to be turning FREENOW on as soon as you wake up at your pit, aren't you?
Not at home. As soon as I get in the cab.
Yeah, but if the incentive is is 35 quid to go into town to go and pick up that job.
Well, listen, as soon as I get in the taxi,
the lights on in your mind.
Absolutely, and you know, I'm always praying that something comes up from Stansted because where I live. But yeah, of course, any incentive is going to make any driver. I'm sure I speak for most drivers. If there's a bigger incentive financially, of course,
greedy bollocks.
Absolutely, I've got to pay the mortgage because this one ain't paying.
We'll work on it. Get to gold and we'll work it out.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, we also have another important change coming in. I think I would like to share.
Yeah, please.
One, we are taking it to the next level. Your favorite topic with the gold, bronze, silver drivers.
Mm-hmm.
We are introducing priority points. Priority system.
Okay.
Basically, what we want to make sure is that if you have cabbies that are more engaged, more loyal to the platform, more active, they have an advantage over the other cabbies, so kind of a head start.
Yeah. So,
there are quite often the situation when there are a couple of cabbies in one and same location, but then we have a cabbie that is like constantly canceling on the pre-books, and then we have a cabbie that is just doing once per month, right? And then we have a cabbie that is like really active.
Doing everything.
Not everything, like just...
more than the others.
Let's say the 3 to 4 rides that is right now what you need to do on average to get to gold status, for example.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an engaged driver. And when the ride is coming in, the request is coming in, what we are doing is saying like, okay, this driver who has a higher score, priority score, will have a couple of seconds advantage over the other drivers. Yeah. It's like when when you have a Formula One and then how the cars are lined up.
Yeah.
This type of advantage in the logic of the allocation. And this way we also show our loyalty and the gratitude towards the drivers that are also loyal to the platform. And we will introduce this to make sure that like more you do, basically more you get.
Yeah.
And more you are canceling and so on, then you are less prioritized.
So the priority points are just that you get the jobs offered to you earlier than, so because
Exactly.
he's on the platform, if I'm brand new to it, he'll get it before I do for 5-10 seconds, and then it will come to me, and then it'll dwindle down.
I think. Are you trialing this now? Because
not in
I've-
London.
Okay, so every now and then, not all the time, I'll get offered a job and it will come up and there'll be like this line going across like that, and it actually reads on the screen on my phone, only visible to you, and then that goes and then visible to other drivers. Is that just a gimmick or?
No, that's more like making sure that that's another way of showing that this is a high value priority ride just for you. But this is not that.
But I'm bronze.
Can
I'm
you
not-
imagine what
I'm not-
gold? Yeah.
I'm not part of the top team at the minute.
But this,
Signing on the top table.
so this isn't that. This is
this
something.
is not that. No.
Right.
This is something new that is coming. There will be the actual score.
Right.
So from 0 to 100, which you can improve or you can have something. And then loyalty, this is like bronze, gold, silver, and the OCA will just contribute to that score. But this will be a major change for the.
So is this part of the priority program or the new product benefits?
It's a new product.
Yeah.
It's the way we are making it more simple in a way and making more fair and more connected to actual engagement.
Well, this is it.
This is definitely
is
going
true.
to happen.
It's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because you're going to keep some drivers really happy and you're going to have other drivers like me and bronze not happy.
But given the engagement that you are having, for example, I mean, I'm pretty sure that the way the system is designed will give you high priority scores, which means you will get more jobs.
Nice.
At least the way that you are describing, like the way how you are interacting with the application, it has to benefit you. If it will not, then maybe we have another session where you will be grilling me and then we fix it. But that's the aim.
When is this going to come into fruition? Yeah. You're hoping. You obviously can't specifically say.
It should be happening in the coming weeks.
Oh.
In the coming weeks? Oh, nice. Lovely. Happy days. You're looking forward to that? Just say yes or no.
Ish.
So we said before that the drivers that got these benefits in the past were predominantly, let's say, the gold drivers, OCAs, but this is more of a broader concept. So a guy that's on, let's say, a bronze driver still has the opportunity to get these priority points and stuff.
So exactly. I was saying that this is a new thing. It's a score. And although having an OCA or gold status is giving you a head start, doesn't mean that the driver that is just engaged doesn't have an OCA or gold status cannot also reach the same point score and have a priority. Exactly. And in the past also it wasn't really transparent like how these things were working. It were hidden different parts of the application, some parts not even visible. And our aim was to make sure that this is a super simple system. Everything is transparent, everything is in one place, and you can really see how the actions are actually impacting your score.
Cool.
And this is what.
Lovely. You'll be gold in no time.
Well, let's hope so.
OCAs all over the shop and everything.
Special design
We're
OCA.
waiting to see.
Not the full OCA.
He'll have FREENOW curtain blinds and everything. Loyalty. That's what it's all about. Is there anything else that you'd like to? I mean, we spoke about it before, but this I don't want to call it a driver event as such, but I think that is going back to that just quickly. I think that's a very exciting thing to possibly happen. I think that'll go down well with some of the drivers. Will you go to it? I know I've asked you before, and you said
again you asked for, but it just depends on the times. Yes, if it suits.
Let's say a Tuesday evening.
If it suits me, yes.
If it's a Tuesday evening.
If it suits me, yes, and Spurs are not playing.
No, hang on. If it's a Tuesday evening and your commission goes down to 10%, are you going to go?
I'm there.
There you go. There's the incentives. There we go. Happy days.
Look, I mean, from all my experience within taxi business, you have to use the application, like as a user and as a driver, in order to understand how, like what to build and how to meet the needs for both sides of the platform. And I mean, in the past, I could do also the driving in the countries where we were operating in my previous jobs. In London, I can't do that. Like, look, you have to go through 4 years of learning in order to just be able to become a cabbie. That's
2.5.
Yeah, if you are
You won't, sir.
like
2.5. 2 years and 10 months, but whatever.
that's for the smart ones.
Cheers.
Anyway, we can't. But when I'm coming here to London, I always take like lots of rides with cabbies to see like how the application is working, not working, what can be improved. We just fixed a couple of bugs yesterday, unfortunately, but we noticed and fixed.
Do you know what you could do? For everyone in the office over here at FREENOW's office, you should ban them from getting in the private hire side of your app.
Absolutely.
And just make sure that they get in black cabs.
Oh, what a point.
Don't say they do. Don't say they do.
They use them.
No, I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying they should be banned.
Yeah.
And take an 18% out of their wage if they get in a private hire on your app. They should just be getting in black cabs.
It's a good idea.
It's a fantastic idea.
I love it.
Yeah, there you go. COO, he loves it. Sorry, guys at FREENOW, but that's just what it is. All right, we need this 18% back.
Yeah, but on the contrary, like when it comes to the driver app, I think it is difficult. So we have to be more closer to the drivers and hear the feedback because we just cannot drive it ourselves.
Of course.
I mean, you can sit in the car and mirror, but that's not the same.
No.
So I think that's why it's super, super, super important to have these feedback loops regularly. We of course do the driver researches, collect the feedbacks, go to the support tickets, get the important parts out of it and react. But it's still not the same as like really having a big event, talking to the drivers, getting all the pain points and actually working on it.
Oh, good. Well, fingers crossed for these new topics to come through. Yes. Is there anything else that you'd like to sort of get off your chest and highlight, or are you happy to wrap this up and have a little bit of a quick fire round with me?
We have to make sure that this industry actually starts to grow. I do think that at this moment we are having an existential challenge. I don't want to be super pessimistic. We are also working together to make sure that we can bring back more growth, more jobs, more cabbies on the road. But what is happening is actually not enough. Not from our perspective, from our side, not from the cabbies, not from the unions, not from the TfL. I think we have to double down our efforts if we really want to make sure that the industry is surviving and starting to grow. So far, we have seen that the number of licenses are going down. That's not a good trend. We have seen that this making more flexible the knowledge text, that this is something that is not moving at all. I mean, we are trying altogether to make it more modern, but it can be done faster. And also we completely support that anyway when the unions are coming with the suggestions on the pricing and so on. But every time we vote and increase the prices for the black cabs in London, we are actually shrinking the market significantly. The gap is so huge that increasing that gap, we are shooting into our feet together. And I think that's a problem. We need to find a way to add more cabbies to the platform and think how can we be more flexible in certain situations. For example, nighttime, as you were mentioning, like there are lots of cabbies in the city, but there are not that many jobs. Literally. And should we be able to make some kind of an offer to the customers so that you can have at least some jobs, or it's not beneficial? So I think some flexibility here is needed.
Yep.
The industry really needs this to be competitive in the modern age.
So what you're saying is that we've all got to work together. Everyone that's involved in the black cab trade.
Yeah.
From you to us to TfL.
Exactly.
Needs to do their bit.
For sure, this is not something that we can do only on our own. So we will need the mayor, the government, the TfL helping us to make sure that this is getting right. I mean, as you know, it's not that easy to become a cabbie in London. You have the super expensive cars. You have the knowledge test that is super complicated. For the expensive cars, the grant amount has gone down from 70.5, I think, to 4K now. And this is making it super, super complicated. And we need to have a solution here. We have either bringing back the grants or having some kind of a loan scheme, or otherwise this is almost impossible to become a black cab driver.
And the unions could get involved in that, or we hope as well.
We hope that unions will have, they have to get involved in this, and we have to talk to each other and that better, and to have a stance on how this can be done, push for it, also get the support from the government, and either introduce the grants or find out some other scheme, or discuss how we can make sure that we create more jobs for the cabbies.
Yeah,
I mean, just by increasing the prices every year, this is definitely not the direction that is helping the industry.
Sure. What's your parting message to the trade, to your black cabbies?
I would say be lucky.
Be lucky?
Yeah.
Top man. Thank you very much.
Oh.
And finally, for you, Mr. Cornhouse.
Yes, sir.
What does FREENOW mean to you?
Big question. FREENOW is a huge help, app, extension to my working evening. I get in the cab, I go to work, I put my app on, I put my lights on, so I'm available for street hire or the app job. But if I go to work and I haven't got FREENOW working, to me, that's like going to work with no pants on, to be honest. So, yeah, it's a really important. Well,
and they're a set of pants, they are, aren't they?
They're perfect pants.
Sure. Double XL.
Double P's, perfect pants.
Perfect pants.
But no, you know, you have to, you need the app. It helps. Is that all right?
Happy with that?
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
You want more people like Richard on your platform, don't you?
That's it. Well,
keep your earphones on, we're not done yet. So last time we asked if FREENOW was a cabbie, do you think you guys have earned your knowledge yet?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes or no?
No.
That's fine. Will the commission fairy finally take a holiday?
Never. Works 24/7.
It said never. Oh, bit harsh, isn't it? Made you fidgety in your big pants. How long before we see an AI cabbie replacement?
AI cabbie replacement? I think that's not going to happen.
Never? Easy, you don't know in this world, do you?
Look, actually, that's a very, very, very good topic. I mean, if I can answer to it not with the one question, actually...
With the one answer?
Yeah, with the one answer, because this is a very, very important one. You will see, let's say, autonomous vehicles. That's inevitable.
Yep.
That's happening. Will they replace cabbies or taxis anytime soon? No.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have the human touch of the service. You still have the user group, for example, the aging Europe that requires the help and the support from cabbies. And this is going to be needed. So this is not going to be replaced anytime soon.
Won't replace the black cabbies.
And
replace the other lot, we don't care, but the black cabbies, no thank you.
Exactly.
Sure. The app's improved, allegedly, but has it earned a tip yet?
5%.
It's not worth anything, is it, really?
Yeah.
What's more likely, TfL banning private hire or every Londoner finally downloading FREENOW?
The second.
Yeah, good answer. And lastly but not least, is the future of cabs electric, or will we still be seeing the running of diesel?
I think the future is hybrid.
Hybrid?
Yeah.
So in between?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you agree with it?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I like internal combustion engines.
Right, this is for you now.
Me?
Yeah, you. Do you want to get involved?
Why not?
Right, the last time FREENOW was on probation, do you think it has passed its test, or is it still on L plates?
No, still on L plate. Still learning. It will always learn.
That's an emphatic answer.
I mean,
It's a fair answer.
We're all learning, aren't we?
we are always learning.
We're all-
The moment we stop learning, then we are scrapped.
Room for improvement.
Absolutely. Right, ready for the next one? Do you think the app is finally as reliable as an old school cabbie's memory? Yes or no?
No.
Absolutely. Great answer.
No.
Right, leave it there.
Yeah.
What's the bigger myth? London cabbies don't go south of the river. Well, we do because that's where my wife is from, so I managed to get her back over here. Or FREENOW always has a job waiting. It's a bigger myth.
Cabbies don't go south. Probably.
No, I'd say the other one, but who am I to
Do you
know?
want to edit that?
No, that's your answer. That's your
I'm
answer.
only kidding.
But thanks for that. Yeah, again.
No, hold on a minute. That could, like, I could be in a lot of trouble. For that.
Shut up. You're
All right.
fine. No,
Right.
that's it. That's it. Aram, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. And hopefully we can push on further with this. As you say, it's not just a one or two time thing. It's you actually want to build bridges in the corporate world. And
Thank you, Aaron. Really happy to be here.
cheers, mate. And your English is perfect, mate. Don't worry about what other people say.
Thank you.
Richard, thanks for coming also.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you. Hollywood all the way.
Hollywood all the way. And so on that note, up the Johns, be lucky. Join us next time. If there is a next time, I'm sure there will be. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, everywhere else you get your audio platforms and everything like that. And stay tuned, and this will be out very, very soon. Up the Johns.